Oh, hey, Spider.
Was it something I said?
Black Cat has yet to appear in a single live-action Spider-Man project. It sounds unbelievable, but it's true. This is one of the most important characters in Spider-Man's mythos. Not even joking, not even exaggerating. Black Cat is incredibly important to Spider-Man. Not only that, but she's an excellent character who has her own agency and doesn't need to be tied to Spider-Man to stand alone as a character. She is an incredibly skilled, world-class thief who has used her powers for both good and evil before. Black Cat has appeared in Spider-Man stories, other heroes' comics, and she even has had her own comics. There is literally so much you can do with this character. The fact that she's never appeared in a single live-action movie? Insane. In today's video, my goal is to talk about how important Black Cat is to Spider-Man's mythos. We're going to go over her most notable adaptations in other media, and then lastly, we need to discuss why she hasn't actually appeared in a single live-action movie. But before I jump into anything, y'all gotta comment down below what your favorite Black Cat adaptation is. She's been in a few shows, she's been in a few games, and I'm trying to find out which one is your guys' favorite. At the end of the video, I'll let you know mine, so please stick around to the end, okay? Let's start with her first appearance in the comics, Amazing Spider-Man 194. Her first appearance is unbelievably good. She appears in like 7 issues over the course of like 30 issues or so, and it's her initial story, and it's just so stupidly fire. I don't want to just recap the entire story, so I'll give you like a quick premise breakdown. So Black Cat frees her father from prison, and he's an old man. She just wants his last moments to be spent at home with her mother. You know, she wants him to die with dignity. Spider-Man, however, sees her break this man out of prison and naturally tries to stop her. He can't just let somebody break out of prison and roam the streets free. So the two naturally get into a huge fight. Black Cat tries to protest that her father should be able to die with dignity, but Spider-Man, he's not really hearing it. If you know anything about Spider-Man, he's got the great power comes great responsibility thing. He's let people go before who are evil or who are perceived to be evil, and because of this, they have hurt people close to him. He doesn't want to let that happen ever again. Black Cat and Spider-Man start scrapping, they go back and forth, and she actually knocks Spider-Man off of the roof, and he has a bruised arm as is, and he nearly falls off of the roof. He catches himself with his one good arm, but he's unable to corral Black Cat with his other arm, and she falls into rocky water. Spider-Man believes Black Cat is dead, and this causes a bit of an internal crisis for him. This is what I mean when I say Black Cat is integral. Her character adds so much to Spider-Man's character and challenges the way he thinks. Spider-Man's entire credo is with great power comes responsibility. As I already said earlier, he could have stopped the man, but he let that man go free and that man killed his uncle. But now you have the Black Cat situation. A young woman wants to free her father from jail so he can die at home in peace. Spider-Man gets involved to stop it, and instead of just stopping a crime from happening, Spider-Man gets involved to stop it, and this time around, Black Cat's father and Black Cat herself both end up dead. Walter Hardy didn't have long, he was already old and ill in prison in the original comics. So at the end of it all, Spider-Man's fighting to stop somebody from breaking out of jail leads to more death than him just letting the bad person go in the first place. It puts Spider-Man in a really rough spot, and it's great inner turmoil to read. But then it's revealed Black Cat's alive, and she's thieving again. She's just obsessed with the thrill and the rush of it. Spider-Man finally catches her, and he finds out that Black Cat was stealing all this stuff for him, according to her. She even made a shrine of Spider-Man in here. She talks to Spider-Man about how much she loves Spider-Man, and she sees Spider-Man as a father figure much like her father, and he could be like a good role model to her, and that she loves him. Spider-Man identifies how creepy this is all coming off and how she clearly needs to be in a mental hospital, and he takes her to a psychiatric clinic. However, everything Black Cat said was pretty much a lie. She didn't want to go to jail, and she'd rather go to a mental hospital. That's why she told Spider-Man all that malarkey. Everything was a lie except for the fact that she does love Spider-Man. That's not fake. She really does have a liking for this guy. And Spider-Man has a liking for her too. At this point, Peter Parker and Mary Jane aren't solidified. Mary Jane isn't even currently around. So at this point, if you're like a reader and you're following along with the story, you don't even feel bad about like loving Black Cat instead of loving Mary Jane because Mary Jane's not here. He already proposed to Mary Jane, it didn't work out, and now you got Black Cat and Peter Parker's trying to figure out his love life and Black Cat's around. I understand it. I get why so many people are Black Cat fans. It's definitely way better than Gwen Stacy. That character's just dog shit. Black Cat's at least a phenomenal character through and through. But this time around, Spider-Man catches Black Cat, and Black Cat claims she's going to turn into a good person. She's going to go straight now because she wants to be with Spider-Man. Because of this, Spider-Man talks to the cops to get Black Cat's record expunged. However, they don't really believe Spider-Man, They just saw her break a man out of prison and she's been stealing all these goods all over the city. They don't necessarily believe she's just going to turn good because Spider-Man said so. Spider-Man goes to talk to Black Cat and tell her what just happened, and Black Cat in her own apartment has plans to steal, set up. She already has these plans out and about. Spider-Man sees these plans and he's a bit furious. He just went down to the police station vouching for Black Cat, saying she's going to be a good person now. She's turning over a good new leaf. Black Cat, however, it doesn't seem to be going along with this thing that she promised herself. She brought this up to Spider-Man. Spider-Man's rightfully upset. He wants Black Cat to turn over a new leaf and be a good person. He leaves Black Cat saying, like, if you love me, you will stop this shenanigans. You'll stop being a criminal, okay? Black Cat, however, just doesn't believe it can happen for her. She just can't fathom that the police will expunge her record after everything she's done so far. So she ignores what Spider-Man just said, believing that, it's up, right? It's cooked. And she goes and robs the place. Spider-Man meets her there, and Spider-Man tries to stop her from stealing and getting away with her stolen goods. But Black Cat was not gonna be stopped. Spider-Man literally webs the motorcycle she's on and she goes flying off of it, and she still just starts sprinting right away towards the water. Spider-Man literally webs her up and she says this hilarious, "Not the webbing," and then she literally is engulfed in the webbing. Spider-Man's like, it's over, and she says she would rather die than go to jail, and she jumps into the water covered in webs. She's then presumed to be dead because, it's very impossible to break out of this stuff. This alone is a wild story for the character, right? She loves Spider-Man and she wants to be a good guy. But because she's done so much bad already, she believes she can never have her name cleared. And she refuses to go to prison. She'd rather die than go to prison. She saw her father spend her entire life in prison, and she was not going to spend her life the same way. It's just like a very sad story for this character, because it gives you this notion that she's actually a good person. But because she was misled in her younger life and she didn't have her father around to help raise her, and he was a criminal, she became a criminal much like him. Because of this, and she became a criminal at such a younger state in her life, by the time she's growing up, she's realized right from wrong and she wants to be a good person, she believes it's too late. The police are already have written her off and she's a bad guy at this point. So at the end of the day, she'd rather die than go to prison. That's raw as fuck. That's a banger story. And that doesn't even factor in. You factor in the ending. In the very end of it, Spider-Man gives his statement to the police, and then most of the police officers walk away. It's just Spider-Man and Jean the Wolf. And then in this scene, you get this super heart-wrenching, sad moment where you find out that the police actually did expunge Black Cat's record. They talked to the DA, and the DA was cool with it. They believed Spider-Man. And she gives the records to Spider-Man that Black Cat's name would have been expunged had she not been, just killed herself or presumed dead. The end of it all, Spider-Man just takes the papers from Jean the Wolf and just throws them into the river right where Black Cat was presumed dead, because it doesn't matter anymore. This is one of the best initial stories for a character on the scene. If you read this story, you get chills. You're just hooked into Black Cat. This is amazing. Again, if you don't like Black Cat, I think you need to read these 7 issues before you can actually firmly say you don't like Black Cat. Black Cat's great. Felicia Hardy's awesome. I think she's an amazing character. I think she's even also an amazing partner for Spider-Man. She's an amazing part of the Spider-Man mythos. I don't know if she's necessary end goal for Spider-Man. I love Mary Jane, and I think Mary Jane is the perfect partner for Spider-Man. But I'm not up in arms over here saying Black Cat's a bad character by any means. I fucking love Black Cat. She's amazing. And obviously, Black Cat did survive all this. She didn't actually die, and she becomes a reoccurring character in Spider-Man. But this initial story is just so otherworldly. Jesus fucking Christ. All right, let's talk about some adaptations, okay? First, we gotta start what makes a good Black Cat adaptation. To me, Black Cat should have her usual look, the white hair, cat stuff, and maybe she's saying things like perfect, stuff like that. In the comics, she doesn't necessarily have powers. I mean, she has a power, but if they're gonna adapt her and say she's gotten some powers, I think it's fair. It's not the end of the world to me. She's out here contesting Spider-Man. She's putting him in the dirt many times in these comics, and that doesn't really actually make sense if she doesn't have powers. So I'm okay with an adaptation having her have powers. It just shouldn't be she's a super uber strong Hulk character now with these powers. No, that's a bit lame. She's an acrobatic thief. That's what the character's all about. Speaking of powers, Black Cat in the comics does only have one power. She causes bad luck. I actually hate this. I think it's terrible. I think it's stupid. Anything with luck when you're having writing is just so bad. It's just a plot device essentially at that point. It's actually so bad that they removed it from the comics. It's not actually a thing in the comics anymore, which is why I don't think it should be a thing in any adaptation ever. If it does get adapted, I'm not going to be mad. It's in the comics. But I personally just like the story better written without her bad luck powers. Black Cat and Spider-Man should be shown to be flirtatious with one another, and Black Cat should have a connection with her father. It doesn't need to be big, but it should be something. He is the reason she becomes Black Cat after all. So those are all my reasonings. This is all my statements that need for Black Cat to be a good adaptation if you have a Black Cat adaptation, okay? Let's talk about the adaptation, starting with the very beginning, the first time she ever was adapted. Black Cat was adapted in the 80s Spider-Man show.
A fitting prize for the greatest cat burglar in the world.
In the 80s Spider-Man adaptation, Black Cat's honestly adapted pretty solidly, especially for the time period. She's not really good or evil, she's just thieving. She's just running around stealing stuff, and like that's very on brand for Black Cat. It's not like she's trying to run a gang or a city, which is like some later stuff you'll see from Black Cat, and nobody likes that stuff in the comics. So thieving is what we like. She's just stealing stuff, so that's good. She even comments on how she thinks Spider-Man could be a good partner for her. That's great, because like I said, they should be flirtatious with one another. This adaptation doesn't touch on Felicia Hardy really at all. Like, that's whatever. I mean, the comics initially didn't touch on Felicia Hardy either. It was just like the Black Cat storyline, and I'm cool with that. I do love Felicia Hardy as a character as well, and when she becomes part of the friend group, but that's later on. So it's okay that this comic doesn't really, or this adaptation doesn't touch on the fact that Felicia Hardy's under the mask. However, this adaptation doesn't really talk about Walter Hardy or her father at all, or the original Black Cat at all. So I do think that's kind of a miss. For the time period, I think it's a pretty fair adaptation of her. If they were going to go the route of Black Cat without Felicia, it does a serviceable job for Black Cat. It's good. Then you got the 90s show. In the 90s show, Black Cat is pretty freaking great.
I knew you'd come, Spider.
Who are you?
Just a stray black cat.
Felicia Hardy is established as a character well before she gets powers, which is different from the comics. However, I feel it actually adds to the story. I think it makes it more enjoyable. She feels more like an actual character. She's not just somebody that just like appears with superpowers. But this show definitely changes her backstory quite a bit. It's not really anything like the comics. It's not like she just watched her father being the Black Cat and she's like, time for me to be the Black Cat, which is exactly what happens in the comics. No, that's not what happens in the show. In the show, her father was literally paid by Nazis to memorize Captain America's serum. Her father figures out that the Nazis were the one who paid him. He escapes these Nazis, but due to the fact that he has the information on Captain America's serum, S.H.I.E.L.D. has to keep him under lock and arrest him. And this way nobody can, use him to get the secrets to make Captain America. And that's exactly what happened. Kingpin's gonna break this guy out of jail. He forces him to tell him the secrets to Captain America's formula and the serum. And then Felicia Hardy is the first test subject, and that's how she becomes the Black Cat in the show. None of this is like the comics. None of it at all. She essentially, you could say Black Cat is Captain America in the show because they took the exact same super soldier serum. And I think that's a little wonky, and I think that's a little bit goofy. Other than that, though, I think this is great. I think it's a phenomenal adaptation of the character that gives her actual characterization and makes Felicia feel like a character just as much as Black Cat. I like this version a lot. Next up, you got Spectacular Spider-Man. This version of Black Cat is utterly phenomenal. She is a great Black Cat. In Spectacular Spider-Man, we don't really get much characterization for Felicia Hardy, but that's pretty similar to her original story, right? It just focuses on the Black Cat aspect. Spectacular Spider-Man definitely seemed like it was doing the original storyline of Felicia Hardy like breaking out her father from prison and this causing issues and rifts between her and Spider-Man. It's great. I love that storyline. It's a little bit different how the issues are caused. Black Cat's father chooses to go back to jail because he doesn't think he should be allowed out. And also Black Cat's father is also the person who murdered Uncle Ben in the show, which is obviously it's a little bit wonkier and that stuff doesn't happen in the comics. But all in all, they do the Black Cat breaking her father out of jail story and it causes a rift between her and Spider-Man. That happens in the comics. I like that. Her and Spider-Man have great chemistry on the screen together. They're flirting with each other outside of this moment where they're having beef with each other. I just wish the show wasn't canceled so they really could have fulfilled and finished the Black Cat storyline. All in all, great adaptation of the character. Web of Shadows is next. Oh my god. Black Cat appears in Web of Shadows and man, this has gotta be just about the worst thing that's ever happened to anybody who's been a Black Cat fan their entire life. I mean, it's great. She's in the game. It's cool that she's in the game and she's an ally for Spider-Man, but the way the game characterizes her just completely misses the mark. It's like a gooner had this notion of what he thought Black Cat would be because he only read certain gooner comics about Black Cat, and he just thought Black Cat was supposed to be the fun, flippant, no care version of the love interest that Spider-Man has. Mary Jane is supposed to be the responsible, boring, we're getting married, and Black Cat's we're superheroes, let's steal stuff and do whatever we want. That's how it feels like the love interest in this game were written, and it's just terrible because that's not Black Cat at all. Not even in the slightest, honestly. Black Cat's not really about being flippant and carefree and not giving a damn about people's feelings. She definitely does. Sure, she's a thrill seeker, but so is Spider-Man. That's not enough to just say she doesn't care about people, in my opinion. Take Maximum Carnage, for example. Venom and Black Cat have beef because Black Cat was literally got the little brakes beat off of her by Venom. But in this story, In this very story, where Black Cat can choose to just ignore all of the Maximum Carnage shenanigans, Black Cat actively chooses to join in, help Venom, and chastise Spider-Man for not having the guts to get rid of Carnage. Sure, she doesn't have the exact same moral ground that Spider-Man has, but she has morals. She has values. This notion that she's just flippant and carefree and like wants evilness to even arise almost feels evil. Like, if you're going to be ambivalent to the point of detriment to other people's health and society, that's evil. Black Cat's not an evil person. So that's why I just can't really get behind the Web of Shadows adaptation of her. And then you get to the end of the game and it's just like the ultimate gooner loser bait you could ever imagine. Like, the dark ending for this game, it's just weird. It's weirdo shit. I don't like it. Gooners probably love it, and me and Gooners, we don't see eye to eye often. Moving on. Insomniac's Spider-Man, okay? This is probably the most notable version of Black Cat she's ever been in because, like, you know, this is the massive freaking game. It's newer. She looks gorgeous because the game, obviously, it looks gorgeous. I think it's 4K nowadays, 60 FPS.
You look good. Been working out?
Like, she's never looked more better because she never appeared in live action. This is easily the most realistic she's looked. I love this character. I think she's really misinterpreted because so many guys are just gooners. Again, the gooners. They just really take this character for something she's not. But she's actually a very complex character with multiple layers, and this is exactly what Black Cat deserves to be written as. She's not a one-note character. She's just not. There's a lot of stuff that comes with her. Black Cat is not an inherently good person. She's also not an inherently evil person by any means. She tries to do lots of good by doing bad, and that includes stealing things, but she's stealing things from people who are usually rich and evil. It's very nuanced, you know? It's not straightforward good or bad guys. It goes deeper than that. All this stuff, honestly, makes for a great character. But fans really only hold on to like one or two things about the character, and they treat that as if that's her entire identity, and I think that's so stupid. I think at this point in all of our lives, we have to realize one moment does not make an entire character's identity. Our whole is not the sum of one simple moment in our life. Our whole is the sum of all the moments in our lives we've reached collectively together in our life. I can't. Let me just tell you exactly what I mean by that, right? So in this game, Black Cat lies to Spider-Man and says that she had his baby, right? I'm not gonna lie, it's not a good thing to do. It's not a morally great thing to do. I don't think anybody watching this video would say it's a morally great thing to do. It's not. But she needed him. She needed him to help her. Like, he was not going to help her if it wasn't for her lies. And yes, you should not be lying, but without the lies, you're not going to enlist help from somebody to do actually good, right? You need somebody to do good, and he's way better at doing good than anybody in this game. He's also way more powerful than Black Cat, so having them be on the same side just adds to her chances of being able to do good. And that's what I mean. It was shitty that she lied to Spider-Man and said that she had his baby. It's not cool. But she did that so she can do good. And that's what I'm saying. She's a nuanced character. But then there's also the other flip side of it, right? So you have the one fans who are like, Black Cat sucks because she lied to Spider-Man about having his baby. And then you have the other fans who are like, well, actually, Black Cat's actually the best character in the game because she's really hot and sexy and she looks better than Mary Jane. It's like, these are the two people have to hear opinions from. People who just heard her lie to Spider-Man, so now they think she's the evilest person on the planet. And then people who just looked at her and saw that she had a tight ass. Now they're like, she's the best person on this planet. These are the only two opinions we get to hear from. There's no nuance. We don't actually get to talk about her character, how she's robbing the rich and whatnot. We don't get that. That doesn't even meet the table. It doesn't make it to the table of conversation. The conversation is just those 2 points. It's insane. It's absurd to me. And that's why I just can't get behind talking about this version of Black Cat often, because you just get the most inane opinions about her. You just do. The only thing about this character that's not really nuanced by the end of her time in these games is she really trusted both the Spider-Man, both Peter and Miles. And I love that because she's a good person and she knows most of all, both of these Spider-Men care about being good people, right? That's all they care about. If you lie to Spider-Man in order to get him to do something good, he doesn't care as long as he does the good thing and he can stop the bad things from happening. That's what matters most to him. And that's what I loved about this Black Cat's characterization. The people who wrote her clearly understood that, unlike the people who played the game. We're moving on. Black Cat has appeared in multiple shows and multiple video games, yet it's absolutely absurd that Black Cat has never appeared in a single Spider-Man movie. She hasn't. She just hasn't. None. There's been 8 different Spider-Man films. How many has Black Cat been in? Absolutely 0. It's wild. She's one of the greatest Spider-Man love interests ever created. I honestly put her above Gwen. I don't know if you could put her above Gwen in terms of importance, but it goes without saying, Gwen, MJ, and Black Cat are the most integral love interests for Spider-Man. Gwen has already been done twice in the Amazing Spider-Man franchises. MJ has been done in God knows how many franchises at this point. She was in the original Tobey franchise. She was supposed to be in the Amazing Spider-Man. And MJ is in Tom Holland's franchise as well. I don't care that her name's not Mary Jane. Her name's still MJ. So MJ's in that franchise as well. But you probably noticed Black Cat wasn't in any of these franchises. None. She almost made it into one. Felicia herself is in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, but she never becomes the Black Cat. She's just like on this insider role at like Oscorp. And it's really super shitty because she was actually supposed to be the Black Cat. She was actually gonna get her own movie. Her and Silver Sable were supposed to have a movie together. And like, it's just whack that like we were this close to getting a Black Cat movie and Black Cat was finally gonna appear in live action and she was gonna be a main staple in the Amazing Spider-Man franchise's universe. Just for it to be canceled. So lame. So lame. I really think Black Cat needs to show up in one of these universes, and I think now more than ever makes a great time for her to show up in Tom Holland's universe. I get why you wouldn't have her show up super duper early, right? You want Spider-Man to establish his morals and the way he views the world and how he wants to save the world so that she could help break those notions and, you know, deconstruct them a little bit so he has to think a little bit more and there's more nuance to him becoming a hero. That's what her character's for. And that's why I don't think it's great that you could have the character appear early. You know, it makes sense that she can't appear in like a first movie. Or maybe like Felicia can appear in a first movie, but Black Cat is more Black Cat by the second film. Tom Holland is on film 4, right? We can start throwing Black Cat in here to challenge his notions. It's okay. That'd be cool. It'd be awesome. Black Cat is a great character for Spider-Man mythos. I don't even necessarily think they have to be dating. I'm cool with Spider-Man still dating MJ Zendaya, Tom Holland and Zendaya, but I just want Black Cat to appear in these movies. Maybe have them flirt a little bit, but be flirtatious. But like at the end of the day, if you want to have him be with MJ, I'm still cool with that. That's what I want too. I just want Black Cat to appear. I need her in a live action film. She's so important to the character. It doesn't make sense to me that she hasn't appeared yet. I mean, it makes sense to me, but like it just needs to stop. We need to course correct quickly and allow her to start appearing in some stuff. Spider-Man 4 Brand New Day is a perfect time for her to appear. All right, this is pretty much the end of the video, guys. So I guess I'll just say my favorite adaptation at this point. Out of all the adaptations of Black Cat and the shows and the games and, well, there's no movies, so I can't bring those up. I would say my favorite is the Insomniac Black Cat. I really do. She's very well done. This is exactly how she should be written. This is exactly how she should be characterized. Super duper nuanced, yet not evil, because she's not an evil character, okay? That's just about it for me in this video, though. I don't know if I have anything more to talk about Black Cat. I'm a big fan of Felicia Hardy. I think she rocks. I think she's better than Gwen Stacy. And I honestly think she's like right up there with MJ. I don't know if she's end goals like MJ is, but as a love interest, they're both phenomenal. They both care about Spider-Man and Peter Parker dearly, unlike Gwen, who hated Spider-Man. And I just love Black Cat. I do. I really appreciate you all watching this video. If you made it to this far in this video, you should leave a like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you let me know what you thought down below. This is your last chance to comment on your favorite adaptation and let me know what's the best Black Cat adaptation. And yeah, if you have the means to support, I would appreciate if you checked out my Patreon. It would mean the world to me. If you want to talk to me a bit more, I'll put my Discord link in the description down below and you can message me on Discord. And I think that's about it for me in this video. Yeah, dunk out. Peace.